One of the questions I get a lot, and one of the statements I get a lot is my tap's not working, or I'm getting terrible tool life with my tap. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Synchronized chucking can be one of them because when a tapping cycle is run in a machine, it's all timed off of the threads and off of the pitch. So if there's any slop or if there's any play in the machine or a rigid tool holder that's going to have snap back from the spindle, that's going to cause those issues. That's where the GuhroSync comes into play.
This video is brought to you by Guhring. From drilling pioneer to complete round tool supplier, nobody offers more. If you're looking for real-world insights, tips from leading industry experts, the latest trends in products and technology, you've come to the right place. From MSC Industrial Supply, this is Tooling Up.
Hello and welcome to Tooling Up. I'm your host, Toni Neary, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. Before I introduce our new guests, let me introduce you to the like and subscribe buttons. Go ahead and click those now because you don't want to miss a single episode of Tooling Up. All right, everybody subscribed? Great, let's get going. Today, I'm excited to welcome Paul Larson. He's the product manager at Guhring Inc. to talk about synchronized tapping chucks and more specifically, the GuhroSync chuck. Paul, thanks for joining us and welcome to Tooling Up.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate being here. This is my first time on Tooling Up. I'm really excited to participate in this with you.
And we are excited too. But before we dive into all the very cool technology, I'd love to learn a little bit about how you found your pathway into manufacturing. So tell us, how did you end up where you are today?
I started in manufacturing in 1996. I've been around for a minute, so I started running manual tool grinders and CNC machines, programming, and worn a lot of hats in this industry. And now I'm the product manager for Guhring and loving every bit of it.
And I think it's an amazing path into your role. And I love the fact that you've got experience, on the floor. But tell us a little bit about what you love most about being at Guhring now.
The interesting thing about Guhring is we are a global company that's family owned. What's been a massive asset for me and for everybody that works here is that all of our opinions matter. Innovation, technology, advancements, the opinion of the employees is listened to and it's acted on. So it's a great company to work for.
Speaking of always innovating, using the right tool holder is just as important in the tool in and of itself. Is that right?
Absolutely, especially when you're talking about tapping. A lot of customers are still using ER collets or tool holders that don't have the square drive in them, and that is incredibly important when you are tapping.
And let's talk a little bit more about synchronized tapping chucks, because I don't think this is the tabletop conversation that people are having while they're passing around the meatloaf. What are some of the problems or symptoms that a shop might see that would lead them to think, okay, synchronized tapping chucks is something that we should take a look at?
One of the questions I get a lot, and one of the statements I get a lot is my tap's not working, or I'm getting terrible tool life with my tap. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Synchronized chucking can be one of them because when a tapping cycle is run in a machine, it's all timed off of the threads and off of the pitch. So if there's any slop or if there's any play in the machine or a rigid tool holder that's going to have snap back from the spindle, that's going to cause those issues. That's where the GuhroSync comes into play.
It was interesting to me that it's like spindle backlash, and that's generally one of the bigger issues that you're going to see. Can you talk a little bit about how the GuhroSync actually helps with that?
Absolutely. On older machines, on machines that have maybe been wore out a little bit, if there's any movements in the spindle, that can cause problems. A tap is going to get fed in at a certain feed rate that's going to mirror the pitch. Once it gets to the bottom, it has to reverse and pull itself back out. If there's any hiccup, if there's any bump in the machine because of backlash, you're going to pull the threads right out or you're going to break the tap. Where a GuhroSync tap holder comes into play, because of the tension, compression, axial and torsional movements, it can actually alleviate some of that and help get that tap to guide itself out of the hole properly, avoiding tearing the threads and avoiding breaking the tap.
Which is amazing because you're looking at not just a scrap of a product, but loss of manufacturing time, labor, materials, and everything else. Let's talk about extending tool life, because if that's, normally the symptom that you'll see, what are some of the numbers that you're seeing for extending tool life in the field?
What's fascinating by using the GuhroSync tool holder is we're finding a 30% increase in tool life over using a standard rigid collet setup or a ER tap drive collet. when you're looking at threading, threading is usually the last operation that's going to happen. All the machining, all the cutoff, all the pocketing, all the work has been done. Tapping is usually the last operation. So extending your tap life, increasing your output, that's only going to make you more productive, because if you break a tap prematurely because you weren't expecting it, all of that labor and all of that time has already been wasted. So having the right tool holder, having the right application running, that's going to extend everything and make you and your company more profitable.
30% is huge. I mean, that's a staggering number. So you've got your 30% tool life extension. We're looking at, reducing the issues with spindle backlash. What are some of the other advantages with GuhroSync that you're seeing out in the field?
The biggest advantage you're going to see is that it's basically a hydraulic tool holder to hold a tap. It's a hydraulic holder that has tension and compression, axial, torsional control. So there is some movement in the tool holder to allow for machines to be able to produce those threaded holes routinely, consistently, and with great quality. And along with that, your Guhring territory manager, in conjunction with the MSC metalworking specialist for those accounts, can work together to provide cost savings reports to show the customers, to prove what advantages you can get by using the proper tool holder.
And let's talk a little bit about being brand agnostic, because I think that's really important for somebody looking to make the conversion.
Sure. All tap shanks fit into the GuhroSync tool holders. There's DIN shanks and then there's ANSI shanks. Those are industry standards. So no matter what competitor or what manufacturer you're using for your tap, they will fit into our GuhroSync tool holders because all the shanks and squares are uniformed.
Paul, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you today and so informative.
Thank you. I really enjoyed being here. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
It was great hanging out with Paul today. And if you enjoyed our conversation as much as I did, and you want to see more discussions like this, please subscribe to our channel. And to find out more about Guhring's tapping solutions, visit www.mscdirect.com/resources/Guhring. Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Tooling Up.
Want more insights and ideas to improve the efficiency and productivity of your operations? Check out the Tooling Up video playlist to hear tips that can take your company to the next level. And subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out.